we are moving on and moving right along to RB9 in the class, Bhayshul Tuten. This was the guy out of Virginia Tech that he's got one of those names that you just got to ask. But I have seen plenty of people talking about him on social media. What's your eval on Tuten?
Yeah, I mean, just like Harvey, he's an easy guy to fall in love with, and there's no surprise that there are a lot of people on social media who have. And because he has the advanced statistics and he has awesome film, he's similar to Harvey in some ways for sure, especially statistically. So like like Harvey, really took a lot of negative plays, but also created a lot of yards when there was nothing there. He had the lowest success rate on short yardage runs, the stat that I brought up earlier with Neil. And so I think that makes sense when you watch him. He can be a bit indecisive, and I think his vision can be a bit of a concern. But I also see him at times like when he's not overthinking things, and I think he has a really natural feel for space. So I do think he could improve on those things. But if you just look at what happened, he did have the lowest success rate on short yardage runs. He had the second highest stuffed rate on runs where initial contact with the defender came at or behind the line of scrimmage, but the fourth highest yards after contact on those runs. So similar to Harvey, more top line speed, which by the way, Harvey is fast. I brought him up as like a Bucky Irving comparison, but he's like a tick faster than Irving for sure. He can really make explosive plays. Tuten, obviously the fastest in the class, and that shows up on film. He gets downhill so fast, and it's hilarious, some of these runs, because like the defensive backs aren't even ready for him to get to the second level of the speed that he does, and it just becomes this collision where everybody's like rolling. He's extremely fast, and he also can like shift and change gears while he's like near top speed. I also think he can contribute as a receiver. He's another guy who I worry about his pass protection. He really didn't get to do it very often at the collegiate level, but he was used as a pass catcher out of the backfield. So he's really, really exciting. He's like second or third in career avoided tackle rate. Ashton Genty is the only one with a higher avoided tackle rate than Tuten. And so it's like, if you can avoid tackles at such a high rate and you have that top line speed, you're a big play waiting to happen at any time.
Friend of the show, Fantasy Football Mad Scientist, is in the chat, says Tuten seems like a prototypical Miami or San Francisco running back, outside zone speedster type.
Yeah, that seems to be the fit. I do think that he could become somebody who can be a man gap runner as well, and like can win in a lot of different ways. But it's been inconsistent so far in that aspect. So I do think at the very least we know that he can get to the edge and create huge plays.
So is he in the category where the style of a team's offense is going to impact your view of him early on?
Yeah. And also, I mean, the size is a real concern. Like, we don't know that he'll be anything more than like a Matt Breida type or something like that. I think there's potential for him to be much more. But yeah, if he lands in a spot where it's good draft capital and there you can see a logical path to him getting double-digit touches, he's going to be pushing up into that like early round 2 range, potentially even back into round 1 if you just like really, really want to get him. I think he's really pretty similar to Cam Scatterboo. Like, he doesn't have the size that Scatterboo does, but like in a lot of ways his profile is really similar.
I want to separate out these first 3 backs we've talked about here, Neil, Harvey, and Tuten. And I'll just kind of have you rank these 3 guys in a couple of different categories. Actually, let's just start with, what order would you put the 3 in? Are they kind of in the same tier in terms of how you view them going into the draft?
Yeah, so I'm hesitant to even do rankings because I'm still really early in the analytics side of things. Because like, honestly, Heath, I can't stop freaking watching running back film. I've watched like 150 games and I keep watching more. People keep being like, you need to watch this guy. And then I watch him and he's awesome. And so I keep falling down the rabbit hole. Like I've got so many guys I still like need to get a more complete view of the class analytically. Which is hilarious because like a couple of years ago, that was like, I never would have imagined that I would be here with the film side of things, but it's been really, really fun. So I'll do my best here. And I think I would put Neil ahead of the other 2, unless you are in a position where you are like really looking for something to just provide a lightning bolt to your team. Like maybe you didn't perform well, or you think you're a couple of years away or a year away or something like that. But if you hit on a few things, then it could like put you into contending. In which case, I would go after Harvey. I think that he could be like the guy who comes in and is a league winner for you right away, and like drastically changes his value, his perceived dynasty value right away. I think I do. I think I do put Tuten as the lowest. I think he's the least likely to get double-digit touches per game, but he definitely has really exciting upside as well.
Well, that was kind of the way it seems to me, and Neal is more likely than the other two to have a starter's workload at some point, but the other two are more exciting than Neal if they get the starter's workload. Would you say that?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And the reason I was like hesitant is like I want to look at running backs who profile similar to these guys and just form a more complete idea of like how likely is it that Harvey does matter, that he does get a chance. You know what I mean? When you look at other running backs who profiled similarly, how likely is it that we do see him work his way into a role? And my guess is that we're going to find it's much more likely that someone like Devin Neal, who had a career like Devin Neal, gets that opportunity, even if their advanced metrics don't jump off the page.
I know you're early in the process, so we're going to let you change your opinion in May if you want to. But as I look at these guys and we talk about, the upside is maybe they get into early round 2 or late round 1. That's right in the same area right now in rookie drafts where I'm seeing the top 2 or 3 tight ends, depending on how you rank those guys, coming off of the board. Barring something surprising happening with these guys, like sneaking into day 2, you view these guys as behind Tyler Warren, behind Colston Loveland?
Yeah, clearly. I'm higher on these tight ends than consensus than it sounds like.